know, the work we put in the communities, you know, the way we give back is legit. It's on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, it's not so you guys can all just like, you know, double tap and say, wow, oh my God, Drake's so like.
You said if you hold your tongue, you'll get crucified.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, sometimes you can feel that way, but now I just feel like, the first reaction is to post about something, and then people often just forget to do anything about what they posted about.
For once, we got a new Drake story that didn't center on him escaping his own failure and continuing to explore methods to become the most pitiful rapper of all time. Instead, since Drake was scheduled to release his upcoming collaborative album on January 31st, which he had been hinting at with PartyNextDoor, we were going to witness him at least attempt to do something to improve his standing with the public. But Drake opted to withhold this album from release and is now keeping it back just as he was genuinely ready to return to the music right before securing the release of his first project since losing to Kendrick Lamar. Hurry up, tomorrow, reportedly The Weeknd's final album is one of the most anticipated albums out right now, which is why this looks to be the case. The Weeknd is a superstar from the same place as him. Drake has finally come to the realization that he has no chance against this project because of all the hoopla surrounding it. However, it appears that Drake has reached a stage where he is afraid of The Weeknd in addition to Kendrick Lamar. His decision to release this song now was the last one he could have before the Grammy and Super Bowl seasons arrive, and before Kendrick Lamar and the effects of everything that has transpired in rap are more noticeable than ever before. Drake may have just made the action that he will remember as his final opportunity to salvage his career as he became even more terrified. However, before we continue, please remember to subscribe and leave a like. Thus far this year, one of the most significant and crucial stories to emerge from the music industry is the whole Drake The Weeknd incident. Because of the way the official report was released and what it said, just the fact that Drake and Party were planning to release their collaborative project at this time sparked a lot of discussion in the music industry about whether this was true or if The Weeknd's team had planted the story to boost the hype for his album and make The Weeknd appear like a powerful force in the industry that would make Drake look like a coward. Furthermore, if this story is accurate, it shows that Drake no longer believes in himself and his own abilities as a star, as evidenced by the back and forth that fan bases are having and the attempts made by Drake and others to defend and make Drake appear better than he actually is. In light of Drake and The Weeknd's feud and their close proximity to each other and their teams simply due to their shared origins, it is clear from this entire report that even though The Weeknd's team was instrumental in making this information public, it shouldn't come as a surprise that one of the artists with the largest team in the world, who has a very personal back and forth with Drake, was able to obtain it and embellish it further. The Weeknd really revealed Drake's operational leaks in his feature from We Still Don't Trust You song, All To Myself. And since Drake's team has repeatedly embarrassed him, we've already discovered the lyric to be more than true. All things considered, Drake supporters in particular must understand that given what Drake is doing and what he's attempting to accuse others of, he's essentially creating a precedent that he will attempt to exploit other people's statements to discredit them. The Weeknd is one of the most professional individuals in the entire music industry, which is why he has gotten so many opportunities and his name and status have only grown over the years. This is in addition to the terrible precedent Drake has set with that record. This story simply wasn't unexpected, and beyond attempting to piece together what we don't know, we can all agree that Drake has been hinting at what's to come during this entire time frame, which he and PartyNextDoor will be sharing the losing spotlight for. Additionally, based on his past performance, Drake has witnessed the success of releasing his album during the same time as another competitor's album, and he is currently doing everything in his power to win back any of his former followers. This is what occurred when CB&D released the album simultaneously a few years ago, which truly made the debut of both albums an even greater spectacle. Based on his past performance, Drake has demonstrated that he does better when he competes with someone, particularly someone who is not a rapper, album after album, rather than engaging in competitive rapping. Because, of course, he has now demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt that he will never disgrace himself more when the lights are shining in that regard. However, despite this being well established, Drake has now decided that if this album is successful, we could theoretically ruin everything Kendrick Lamar is planning to do at the Grammys and the Super Bowl by returning to the board with something that people are talking about that is genuinely related to music rather than all of the other absurd antics he has been in the news for. He simply isn't prepared to face the Weeknd, who, among other things, performed a whole stadium tour by himself before to this record. Even though Drake isn't directly saying anything, it seems like he is beginning to show how much he has benefited from the system that was the music industry before ruining what made him a star in the first place. Drake is sitting down and considering whether he should release this big comeback record and try to compete with the other person who has been seen right alongside him for more than 10 years as the faces of their entire city's music scene. He has decided not to release this album on the same day as The Weeknd. At this point, he is in the same situation with his label as Kendrick Lamar, and The Weeknd is signed to the same guys as them. In addition, Drake is aware that the music industry and those responsible for ensuring that his lackluster previous albums still achieve big numbers will not support this as they have in the past, due to the way he handled the controversy surrounding Not Like Us and his current claims about his success. Furthermore, even Drake has had to acknowledge that after Drake has never been in a worse place, the hype surrounding his final album is far more intriguing and promising to people than Drake's collaboration with PartyNextDoor. This is because, let's face it, The Weeknd is a bigger name everywhere, from playing Super Bowls to stadiums, when Drake can't even play arenas without other stars, because even beyond stardom, The Weeknd is a bigger artist than Drake. Given all of these factors, Drake appears to be aware that even though releasing this project and having it outperform The Weeknd could help him regain some respect and hype from non-hip-hop fans but casual listeners, he also knows that should he lose this thing, which he almost certainly will, he will not only solidify his downfall by losing in a head-to-head album matchup against someone with whom he has a falling out, but he will also be ruining and losing whatever respect he still has left in his own city. The Weeknd will be demonstrating that he has always been the one to take the lead when the stakes have never been greater, because to their years-long feud, Drake will formally lose the final thing he is sort of clinging to if he loses to The Weeknd during this period, when he is in his own city and Kendrick Lamar is already surpassing him by performing in larger venues than Drake has ever had. And while losing to Kendrick Lamar in that manner was terrible enough, the fact that Drake loses to The Weeknd will only further damage his reputation as a loser, since many other artists are still trying to figure out where Drake is really landed and how bad his career is at the moment. The first thing he says after releasing his album, Can't Rush Greatness, is that he's going to release a song with Drake very soon. This is in reference to all the rappers and artists who, oddly enough, still look up to him and want to work with him on more music. These artists include Lil Baby and even Central C. Overall, even the remaining hip-hop community that still supports Drake and believes he has anything to offer will permanently turn against him if he turns into a man who is losing to everyone, not just Kendrick Lamar. Thank you for listening, and please share your opinions in the comments section below. I'll see you at the following one.